Welcome to That Mommy Web Show. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Kayla. And today we're going to talk about working at home or working from home. Working
in our home.
Yes.
On
working
our
at home
homes.
moms. Yes.
It's all encompassing.
Right. So I think this is a position that a lot of women are in. They want to stay at home, but they kind of need the extra income. So we're trying to make ends meet and we pick up odd jobs. So I think it's a good thing to talk about the pros and cons, and that way if you are considering working from home, you kind of know what to be prepared for.
Now, both of us work from home.
Yes.
I don't know if we made that clear.
No,
but,
we do. And we're not going to really talk about the actual jobs we do because we don't want you to do them.
Secret.
So we're just going to go through a list.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about each pro and then a con that's part of it. So that way you get what we're trying to do here. Ezra, what do you want to be when you grow up?
An astronaut.
Why?
Because they're cool and they get to study space and the planets like Mars.
Got it. So they stay in space.
So the first one is you get to be at home. And I think that's the number one thing. Everybody likes to be at home, be able to, go and do things without, having that job that's you're committed to going to every day. So,
so you can be there when your kids, especially when they're young, it makes it a whole lot easier. You don't have to send them to daycare, where a lot of them, pick up sickness and all kinds of other stuff. So it just makes it a way for you to be home and to be able to take care of the kids.
Right.
And that kind of
but
stuff.
Then you're always at your job. I mean, that's the way it feels. It's like it's very hard to set those boundaries, and that's one thing we've tried to do is we try to say, at this point, especially Sundays, those are, we don't do any work on Sunday, but it's very hard through the rest of the week not to just sit there from, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning to, 10, 12 o'clock at night.
I don't have that problem.
Well, I do. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what you said is you run into those issues where you get up really early in the morning and then you work for a couple hours, or you find yourself working really late at night. Mm-hmm. And that makes it difficult because a lot of times if you do have kids at home, it's, a little bit more difficult and you have to do a little bit of wrangling in order to make that work. Right. So you do have to be very careful because you always are on call, basically.
Right.
You have to get your hours in, and that's how you do it. So. TJ, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be an art teacher.
Why do you want to be an art teacher?
Because it sounds a little bit fun. Yeah, it's just kind of easy. I pretty much think.
So the next one would be flexibility, which I think it kind of ties in with the first one, but it's great to be able to work your whole schedule around however you feel like doing it. I mean, you can work at night if you would want to work at night, or you can work early in the morning, or if you want to work just, a combination, or, several, just like pull really long days, a few days a week. You can do all sorts of things.
Well, it makes it easier, especially in my situation. I'm taking care of my grandparents right now, and I take them every Monday for doctor's appointments and whatnot. So I know that I can plan for Mondays. I know Mondays I'm going to have to work either really early in the morning or probably later in the evening, but I know that I can get my time in, so I'm able to do things for them like that. Right. Also, I'm able to do stuff, because one of my kids does go to school. So I'm able to go and do things at the school. Right. I can work around that, field trips or school events, parties, whatever. Right. But then again, on the other side of that, you can get a little too flexible.
Right, yeah.
Which is me. And go, I can make up those extra 3 hours tomorrow. Right, yeah. And then you look at it and you're like, wait a minute, I got to work.
You get to the end of the month, it's like, oh no, what am I going to do?
And then you work, and then you don't see anybody for 2 days. You're like, focus. Exactly. So you have to be very careful. So you do have to be diligent, I think, is the thing. Diligent. If you're one of those people who, you put
pushes
something off, or you're just
a
big, procrastinator, then you definitely might. No, I said procrastinator.
Procrastinator?
Procrastinator. Is that what I said?
I'm sorry. I thought you
Do I need to enunciate? Procrastinator.
Sorry.
Kind of like the Terminator.
Yeah.
Terminate that work. No. Right. But if you're that kind of personality, and I know people who are.
Yes.
And I tend to be like that on certain months.
But you've gotten, I think, better probably because of being worked.
It's
one of those things, I think if you have a goal in mind, like if it's like I get to stay at home with my kids, if I do this, then you're going to do it. So.
Right. So you have to be very careful with that. Elizabeth, what do you want to be when you grow up?
An astronaut.
You're going to be an astronaut. Why?
Because I like to be an astronaut when I grow up.
That's a great reason. One of the big things, and we kind of talked about this also throughout, is you get to be with your kids.
Right.
I know in your case you homeschool.
Right.
And you do it. So that's a little bit different.
Yeah. So it's great to be able to have that. Like we can homeschool. There's no, they can be here. I can help them with their work, and I can be working, and it works out really well. But Elizabeth was talking about, there are times when I have to say, I'm here, and that makes it much harder to say no to your child when they say, can you come play a game with me?
Well, it's the whole reason you do this.
Exactly.
Is so that you can be home with your kids, but then you have to turn around and say, okay, can you color in this color book?
I'm trying to work right now. That's kind of how it goes more than the other way.
Right.
Maybe it's
or you run into that situation where you're being timed, because one of the jobs I do, I have to be timed.
Yeah.
And somebody comes in and says, hey, wipe my butt. You have to pause it.
Right, yeah.
Time, log off. Go wipe a butt. 2 minutes later, sign back on.
Right.
So, I mean, that can be kind of frustrating, too. And in my case, I'm not homeschooling a kid, so I have a child at home who needs to be entertained every once in a while.
Right.
So my timing has to be broken up a little bit funny.
Right.
So I do have, timesheets where it's like 50 time slots, and I'm like, can't believe I've got to write all this in. But you have to do that. Riley, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Luigi.
You want to be Luigi? And why do you want to be Luigi?
Mario.
So the next thing is the technology. With one of the jobs that I do, I've been able to get my hands on a lot of technology. There's no way that I would have paid for it out of my own pocket, but I've been reimbursed to buy certain devices, and so that's been great. So, and I think you've kind of had that kind of same experience where you've bought equipment that you probably wouldn't have otherwise. Or...
Right. Well, I mean, like the iPad, I would not have the iPad, had it not been for this jobs and extra things that I do in order to be able to stay at home. Those are things that we, use and test with, and it's also a benefit because our kids get to use them.
Right.
I mean, my kids are very tech savvy, so they enjoy those things. They enjoy the laptop, they enjoy the iPad, the iPhones, and all that good stuff. So, but I have to work really hard to get those things.
Right. Yeah.
It's not something.
And then if it does break, it's on your dime. Like with most other, if you go to a job and you've got all this cool technology, if it breaks, they're gonna fix it and replace it. But with us, what we do, we've got to repair it, like either figure out how to fix it, or you have to replace it out of pocket, or do without it, which usually means you're going to do without the income that
lose some kind of job out of it.
Or like when the internet goes down here, which sometimes happens.
We won't name any names.
Windstream. But no, when that happens,
now they won't sponsor us.
Yeah, dang it.
So feel bad about that.
But we can lose like an entire day's worth of income.
And that's happened.
It has happened before. And then there we're sitting, not bringing in a day's worth of income. So that can be rough. So
very difficult. But we're going to lay out a couple other things for you before we sign off today. But before we do that, we're going to head on over and we'll let you see some Ants apps.
Right.
Or you can play with some of Ants apps.
Right.
There you go. We'll see if you like what he's got or not this week. He's still around, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Welcome to another edition of Ants Apps. Last time we talked about some ways to make sure you found a good deal at the store. Today we're going to talk about how at the store you can make money with your iPhone or Android device. The first app I want to tell you about is called ibotta, and actually Jennifer clued me into this app. Essentially what ibotta is kind of a couponing system. But instead of using coupons, what you do is, as you can see, there's various products available that you can purchase and earn money for purchasing those products. So for example, if I was going to buy some Smucker's red raspberry preserves, I could purchase that product, and then what I do is actually take a picture of the receipt, and I'll get paid via PayPal. And you can see there's ways to add a little bit to it by doing a couple of really simple and quick things. So ibotta is one app that you can work with. One that I have a whole lot of experience with is called Field Agent. Now, with this, you are basically a secret shopper. So you can take a look at the list of jobs that are available in your area. And as you can see, the closest one to me at the moment is almost 25 miles away. Now, I can look in a list view to see these jobs, or I can look on a map, and it'll kind of show me where the jobs are. That would pull up in just a second. So if we take a look at this Sam's Club job, basically it's going to give me the general directions. First of all, you see here, this job pays $4.50. And then secondly, you're going to see the instructions and the exact location for this job. Now, if I accept this job, essentially what I'm going to do is follow the instructions. I'll probably have to answer a couple of questions about a display or a product that's being demonstrated, and I'll also have to take a picture or two. And then when I submit that job and the job gets approved, I will get paid through PayPal. So this is a really neat way to make a little bit of extra cash if you're out in about and in the store and there's a job available. As you can see here, I've accepted 139 jobs and completed 133, and I've made over $570 through the Field Agent app. So it's definitely something you should check out. It's a way to earn a little bit extra money while you're just out and about shopping. So Field Agent and ibotta. There's a couple others that you can find for the iPhone and for Android device, like GigWalk, and there's one called Checkpoints and Receipt Hog. But if you just do a Google search for apps that make money, you'll find plenty of options there.
So one last note, if you are interested in becoming a work-at-home mom and you need ideas, different types of jobs, go to wham.com, WAHM.com.
Wham!
And, gosh, that's scary. And go there. There are forums. I would highly recommend the forums because you can get
Forums.
I'm
sorry, I scared you too bad.
I'm so scared. But you can go there and get people's honest opinions because they're very honest on
Yes,
there.
they are.
People that have tried
I've never
the
been.
things. You've never been, but I have. It's how I found all of the online jobs
And
that
I
we
found
all
them
do,
'cause
by
of
the way.
her.
Right? Yeah. So
actually, sort of.
right. So, and then the last thing we're going to wrap up with is the subscriber. If we get to 35 subscribers.
35. Is that backwards? Did I just do 53?
I don't know. How does it show up?
How do you do that?
I don't
35.
know. What is it?
Anyhow, once we get to 35, we will give away a $10 gift card to Walmart. Woohoo!
Think
I
about
would like $10
all the
gift card.
T-shirts you can buy.
Or maybe something for mommy, like a CD. So basically, we're going to give away a $10 gift card to Walmart once we hit 35 subscribers.
So subscribe.
And we'll do a random drawing. Hey, and think about your odds if you're 1 out of 35.
Exactly. That's pretty good odds.
Yes.
Yeah. So, see you
All right.
later.
Bye. Okay. That's great. Good job. Give me a kiss.
Wait. Tia turn.